Picture this. A major reality TV plot, all mapped out. High stakes, big move, California to New York, drama central.
Yeah, it was designed for maximum impact,
Yeah.
Co-parenting conflict, emotional goodbyes, gonna dominate a whole season.
But then, just like that, the whole thing crumbles. And not because of the usual suspects, no big legal fight, no family intervention we saw coming.
Nope. It all came down to one single, very quiet statement from the most private member of the family.
The 15-year-old basically broke the script. Today, we are diving deep into maybe the biggest reality TV power shift we've seen in ages, how Mason Disick broke the Kardashian script.
Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join us, Jordan and Jamie, as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and, yeah, those viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame, giving you the context, the real story.
And trust us, this story today, it's a masterclass in unexpected influence. We're unpacking how a teenager, one who actively avoids the cameras, managed to, well, override his dad's pretty wild plan.
He didn't just override it. He derailed an entire narrative arc built for millions of viewers. It's fascinating.
Absolutely. And you really can't get the full picture without understanding the silence around him. So stick with us, because later in this dive, we'll get into that intense fortress of privacy surrounding Mason.
And we'll talk about that crazy viral rumor his mom had to personally shut down, a really rare public statement from her.
Okay, let's set the stage. The inciting incident. Where did this whole New York idea even start?
It kicks off in the season 7 premiere of The Kardashians. We see Scott Disick, he's 42 now, talking with Khloé Kardashian.
Right. And he seemed kind of down, didn't he?
Yeah, reflective maybe. He's living in Hidden Hills, but he's talking about feeling really isolated, points to things like, the wildfires, the general California chaos.
But the core of it was loneliness.
Seems like it. He straight up told Khloé, I just don't have that much reason to live in Hidden Hills anymore, which is a big statement.
And then came the bombshell.
The bombshell. He wasn't just thinking about leaving Hidden Hills. He was planning to move back home to New York.
Okay, personal move, fine. But that wasn't the whole story, was it?
Not even close. This was the hook for the show. He wasn't going alone. He intended to take Mason, his 15-year-old son, with him.
Wow, okay. That's huge.
He had details. He told Khloé he'd probably come with me, living uptown. Mason going to a private school uptown. This wasn't just some vague idea he was floating.
So he'd clearly thought this through, at least in his head.
Oh, definitely. Which makes Khloé's reaction totally understandable.
Yeah, she was basically all of us watching at home. Her jaw just dropped.
She literally said, shut up. But you can't. She saw the disaster written all over it.
And she called the plan to take Mason insanity. That word really stuck out. Insanity.
It did, because it highlighted just how disruptive this would be. But for the show, Scott's next admission, that was pure gold.
What was that?
The co-parenting fail. He just casually admits, I haven't talked to court or the kids.
Oh my God. Seriously, he planned to move his son across the country and hadn't told his son's mother.
Exactly. A ready-made conflict. The producers must have been rubbing their hands together. This was the season's drama, right there.
Okay, so the show sets up this massive showdown. Scott versus Courtney. Relocation battle. Tears. Drama. Multiple episodes guaranteed.
You'd think so. That's the reality TV playbook.
Yeah.
But then, poof.
It just evaporated.
Astonishingly fast. Just a few weeks later in Showtime, maybe the November 6th episode, Scott's suddenly doing renovations on his current house in Hidden Hills.
Uh-oh. Total reversal signal.
Right. Khloé had to ask him straight up what was going on.
And what did he say?
He confirmed it. So I've decided I can't really move to New York with my kids and everything. Just like that. Move canceled.
Okay, hold on. A whole season's plot line built on this massive conflict just disappears. What happened? What possibly could have stopped it?
According to Scott himself, it all boiled down to one conversation. Off camera. With Mason.
One conversation. With his 15-year-old son.
That's what he said. And he gave Khloé the exact words Mason used. This single quote basically became the most powerful line of dialogue all season, and it wasn't even on camera.
Okay, I need to hear this. What did Mason say?
Scott told Khloé, verbatim, I talked to Mace, and he's like, you can't actually move.
Wow. You can't actually move. That's it.
That was apparently it. Simple, direct, logical.
And what was the reasoning behind it? Just Mason didn't want to go.
Well, Scott explained it was more than just that. Mason apparently brought up the logistics for his siblings. Penelope, who's 13, Rain, who's 10.
Oh, right. Visiting dad in New York every other weekend.
Exactly.
Mm.
Scott admitted Mason pointed out how they'd have to come every long weekend, and Scott realized that flying them cross-country constantly would be, quote, a big ask.
So Mason's practical logic shut it down.
Pretty much. Scott said Mason's point was so solid that there was just no way he could actually do the move.
That's incredible, especially when you remember how far Scott had gone with this plan.
Right. He mentioned he'd already sold his boat. That's a concrete step. Selling assets in preparation.
So Mason's quiet, logical no was stronger than Scott selling his boat and the producers planning a whole season arc.
It seems so. And then there's that little exchange with Khloé when the move was officially off.
Oh, yeah, what was that?
Khloé tried to say something like, well, first of all, no one was going to let you move across country anyway, kind of asserting the family's power, you know.
Okay, typical Kardashian control narrative.
But Scott's reply was sharp. He quipped back, I know one person that would.
Oh. And he definitely meant Kourtney. Right.
Had to be. Which kind of suggests maybe Kourtney wasn't going to be the big obstacle the show wanted her to be, or at least Scott thought she wouldn't be.
So in that co-parenting power vacuum, maybe Mason had to step up.
That's one interpretation, yeah. His comment wasn't just a kid's preference. It was genuine self-advocacy, maybe advocacy for his siblings, too. He provided the no that the situation needed. The structural anchor, maybe?
He became the voice of reason that stopped the insanity.
Wow, it's a hell of a dynamic.
Okay, if you're finding these hidden power plays as fascinating as we are, seriously, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope Report. We live for uncovering this stuff.
And we've got way more stories like this coming up.
Plus, we still need to dig into why Mason's word carries so much weight. It's all tied up in his privacy, isn't it?
Absolutely. His influence is almost magnified because he's so rarely seen or heard from. So why the intense privacy, and how far have Kourtney and Scott gone to protect it?
It's pretty unique in that family, right? He's the first grandchild. We literally saw his birth on TV.
Exactly. Born into the spotlight. But now, as a teenager, he's made a very conscious choice to step back. Way back.
Kourtney confirmed that, didn't she? A while ago.
Yeah, back in 2022, she said Mason does not like the spotlight, doesn't want any part of it. He's chosen to stay off social media, which is pretty remarkable for a teen today, let alone a Kardashian teen.
We see hints of it, too. Like, he wasn't really featured in the wedding special till Death Do Us part.
Right, he was there off camera, but not part of the film stuff. And remember when Kourtney and Travis went to Australia in 2024? Mason chose to stay back in California with Scott. He opts out.
So the parents are actively protecting that boundary, not pushing him into the family business, so to speak.
They seem to be.
Right.
Which is a real contrast to the brand. And protecting that privacy isn't always easy. There was that incident back in March 2025.
Oh, right. That crazy rumor that went viral.
Yeah, totally unfounded, really damaging stuff spreading on Reddit, TikTok, falsely claiming that Mason at 15 had fathered a child. I mean, just awful.
And Kourtney had to step in publicly, didn't she? Which she rarely does about rumors.
Very rarely. She put out this statement on her Instagram story, really aggressively shutting it down.
Yeah.
Called the account spreading it fake. Said flat out, Mason does not have a child.
And she specifically mentioned his privacy, too.
She did. That was the key part. She pleaded, my son really values his privacy, and I am asking all media to please be respectful. He is a kid with feelings. It was a fierce defense of that boundary.
Okay, so if privacy is that paramount, that fiercely protected, what about Scott quoting Mason's "you can't actually move" line to Khloé on camera? Wasn't that kind of breaking the code?
It's such a great question, and I think it was calculated. A strategic breach, maybe?
How so?
They used Mason's words, his private logic, to resolve a very public narrative problem, the New York move. It demonstrates his influence, leverages his agency, but without actually putting him on camera or exposing him visually.
Huh. So it respects his desire to be unseen, while still acknowledging his power within the family dynamic.
Precisely. It's a controlled release, and it serves another purpose, too. It perfectly caps off Scott's whole character arc shift.
Ah, the evolution from Lord Disick to Dad.
Exactly. From the impulsive party guy to the, well, father of a teenager. We've seen him working on this rebrand for about a year, right?
Yeah, especially on Khloé's podcast, Khloé in Wonderland. He got pretty real there.
Super real. Early in 2025, talk about having that difficult conversation with Mason about hereditary alcoholism, Scott being open about his own struggle.
Right. He told Mason something like, if I see a problem with alcohol with you, I will take actions. Setting boundaries, but not prejudging.
And then there was the dating advice he shared. Remember that? Telling Mason, Just don't lie and don't manipulate any girls. Which, I mean, given Scott's history.
Yeah, that felt like genuine hard-won advice. Trying to guide his son differently.
So the whole New York move idea, that impulsive, potentially chaotic plan, it was like the ultimate test for this new Scott.
And Mason's simple, logical no was the proof that the change was real.
I think so. It showed that this more reflective Scott actually listens, that he lets his son's sound judgment override his own, quote, insane impulses. Mason's stability basically won the day.
It's fascinating. The quietest voice ends up having the loudest impact. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, by the way, if you want to keep up with how these celebrity narratives keep evolving.
Yeah, because this story isn't just about the Kardashians. It's about fame itself changing.
So, Mason Disick, the unseen character, his logical off-screen no proved more powerful than a whole reality TV plotline designed for maximum drama.
Absolutely. And what he did, maybe unintentionally, was demonstrate that agency, that privacy, they can still exist, even right in the belly of the beast, the world's most public family.
He forced his dad, and by extension the show's producers, to completely pivot based on his private preference. That's kind of revolutionary for reality TV.
He really did. He broke the script and maybe rewrote some rules for the next generation growing up in that spotlight.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it?
Definitely. If the kids of these massive celebrity dynasties start demanding this kind of logical veto power, this kind of privacy, are producers going to find themselves negotiating storylines not just with the parents anymore?
But with the teenagers themselves, wow, that's something to think about.
It certainly is.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.